Today's episode is going to be a little bit different from our other episodes, and it's going to be a little bit different because we have this fun opportunity here for me and my lovely colleague, Sophia, who I'll be introducing in just a moment. We are going to be chatting kind of candidly, kind of off the cuff, even more so than usual, if you can imagine that, about the recent experience that we just had attending and working at the AVMA convention. And for those of you who don't know what AVMA is or what this convention is, it is an annual conference hosted by the American Veterinary Medicine Association. And it is a fantastic opportunity for veterinarians across the country and companies that help veterinarians thrive. These are companies that sell different tools and resources to veterinary practices across the country, pharmaceutical companies as well were in attendance. So it was just this really awesome experience that Sophia and I shared together. It is something that the Street Dog Coalition participates in every year. This was my second time attending. This was Sophia's first time attending. Um, and I should also add, for those of you who don't know, that our staff works remotely across the country. And this is the one time that we get to come together in person, face to face, connect with one another. And one of the most rewarding parts about this convention is not only staffing the outreach booth that we have, the Street Dog Coalition's booth, where we share a bit about our mission, where we invite individuals to support our cause by donating or volunteering, all that good stuff. But we also take one day out of the convention to host a pop-up street clinic. The convention this year was in Austin, so we were able to gather a lot of different volunteers from all across the country who were attending the AVMA convention. We came together to host a street clinic that supports the unhoused population in Austin and their pets and ensures that they both get the care that they need, with a focus on providing that free veterinary medicine to the pets of our lovely, lovely clients. So, it was definitely an experience. It was a lot of fun. I can't wait to kind of have this opportunity to debrief with Sophia. We haven't even debriefed with the rest of our staff yet. We just got back. So this is going to be interesting. And for those of you who don't know, Sophia is our community engagement coordinator at the Street Dog Coalition. She is going to be joining us for this insightful discussion into our recent experience at AVMA. And Sophia, in particular, played a pivotal role in raising awareness and promoting this free veterinary street clinic for Austin's unhoused population. So, without any further ado, let's welcome Sophia back to the podcast. Pew, 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 pew.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here again.
Yay, Sophia, it's so great to see you on a screen after seeing you in real life and getting to give you a hug and compliment you on your beautiful curly hair and your sparkling smile and personality.
Oh, thank you.
You are so welcome. So, usually, what we do is I ask the guest a bunch of questions and I smile and I nod. And what I have shared with Sophia is that this episode's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to share some questions and we're both going to answer them. And my objective is to make our audience feel like a fly on the wall between this conversation that we're having between two friends. So, Sophia, can you share with us a little bit about your experience at the convention and your understanding of the veterinary community that we encountered there, of their engagement with our organization? Like, what was that like for you, and what did you make of the whole thing?
Yeah. So, I kind of assumed what was going to happen happened. I assumed that we would see a lot of great people and a lot of people want to be involved, but it was invigorating to see how many people want to get involved. Like people kept coming up to the table being like, I wanted to go to the clinic. I was on the wait list. Like we had so many people wanting to get involved. And I think that that just shows the kind of people that veterinarians are and veterinary, staff. It's like giving and they want to give back. And I find that so like inspiring that people wanted to join us, to donate, to get involved at the clinic, to volunteer in their own states after, meeting us. So it's just really nice to see that. It's really like refreshing. It like brings life into you again.
Yeah, I totally agree. It was so awesome to see how they're, we were just kind of talking nonstop, especially the first day that we were hosting
Mhm.
this booth in the exhibit hall. And it was so interesting because I found that there was such a mix of veterinarians. There were people who knew exactly who we were and what our mission was.
Mhm.
And that was amazing. And then there were also individuals who were like, I didn't even know that these kinds of services existed. How cool is that? How can I get involved? So just watching people really light up, and by people I
Yeah.
mean veterinarians, as were most of the individuals there, just light up at the idea of being able to give back to their communities in this way, was really cool. It was really interesting. And I also felt like there were not too many other nonprofits at the convention as well. So it gave us this opportunity to really stand out and share our mission in a way that felt kind of unique.
Yeah.
Was that your experience too?
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. And the fact
Yeah.
that we were able to partner with AVMA for that clinic, I think just brought it all together. People can come to the table, then they can experience it, then they take it home and they can volunteer at home. Like it's like full circle.
Yeah, I think that's such a great point. We witnessed people going from not knowing our organization existed to on like Saturday, to us
Yeah.
telling them about our clinic on Sunday, to them signing up, to them returning back to our booth later in the afternoon on Sunday, covered in sweat and still somehow smiling,
Yeah.
high off the thrill of serving their community. And for a lot of these individuals it wasn't even their community because they were traveling from out of state and they just happened to be in Austin, Texas. So it was really exciting to honestly, quite frankly, it was really exciting to, even as we as an organization, as staff members, were feeling conventions are hard, conferences are hard. We were kind of feeling tired and burned out a little bit. I felt like the enthusiasm we got from the people walking past our booth, wanting to learn more about our mission, was just invigorating and exciting and allowed me to run on fumes for just a little bit longer. So thank you to
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
It was really, really exciting. And this was your first time. Have you ever been to like any kind of animal related conference before?
Yeah, when I was a lot younger when I was in Mexico running the dog shelter. I did like sort of like that, and it was with dogs, and it was crazy too because you have dogs behind you barking and you're trying to talk to people. And it's like, so at least we didn't have dogs barking in the background, which was nice. It was relaxing in that way.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. I don't even think we saw. Did anyone bring their dog into I think I maybe saw one dog in the
Yeah, I think
convention
like one
center.
or two or something. Yeah.
I had previously gone to like an animal rights conference,
Yeah.
and there were a couple people who brought like their pet chickens and like pigs. Um, and in any other circumstance, I'd be like, why are you bringing your animal here? Your animal belongs alone. But these chickens and pigs were like signing autographs, thriving, like living their best life. So excited
Oh.
for the people there. So you never know what you're gonna get when you're around animal lovers, and maybe next time we'll see a pig. Who knows? So that's awesome. Yeah, that's really, really great. I really enjoyed being around so many people who had committed their lives to helping animals. And I also really enjoyed being around people who, frankly, just knew a lot more than I did about helping animals. I'm obviously not a veterinarian, I'm a fundraiser. So I felt like I was definitely resisting the urge to ask everyone who walked past me a question about, like, why does my cat do this all the time? Why does my dog do this all the time? But I definitely felt comforted in knowing that everyone around me was really knowledgeable. So that was really exciting
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Do you have, was there a memorable moment or person or interaction that you can maybe share with us about your time running the booth at the conference? Maybe something that illustrates the impact of us working together to raise funds or awareness.
Yeah. So I think this happened like one or two times where someone would come up to the booth, talk to you, and they were really excited and they already knew what Street Dog Coalition was, but they wanted to like hear more. And then they were like, "Oh, and I volunteer back at X state or whatever." And it's like, "Oh, that's so cool." And then they're gonna volunteer on Sunday. So it's like these people are so passionate that they'll come out of state to a conference. They already volunteer with their team and they'll still come volunteer at our clinic. Like I feel like that really shows the experience that they get out of these clinics, enough to go out of state to a conference and then still volunteer at a
Yeah.
coalition event. Like I find that so inspiring, and it's just like, wow, you guys are amazing. These people are amazing. They really are.
Really, really amazing. That's such a
Yeah.
good point. And I cannot stress enough to our audience how hot it was at the conference on these few days. I mean, I know it's hot everywhere in the country. But so it's just, and now I'm seeing, you and I were working the booth while this clinic was going on, and now I'm seeing a lot of videos coming out from the clinic, and everyone is smiling. All of
Oh.
our volunteers are so happy to be there and to provide care for these clients. Most of these clients I hadn't even met until that day. So it just, I think it was such a rewarding experience all around. And one of the moments that stood out to me was one of our volunteers. Her name is Diana. Shout out to Diana Guzman. She came up to me and she said, I want to get more involved with your organization. And I said, well, she had already known all about us. I said, well, we're hosting a clinic tomorrow. You're welcome to sign up for the morning shift or the afternoon shift and, get your hands dirty and help some of the individuals here in Austin who, need support from folks like you. And Diana, without hesitation, said, oh, I'm already signed up for both shifts tomorrow. And I was like, oh my goodness, we love
Oh.
people like you. That's awesome. I was actually watching the one of the news stories that came out from the clinic, and I saw her face in a bunch of different shots. So I was like,
Oh.
yeah, she made it. And what excited me most about chatting with her was that she really wanted to engage her university. I
Mhm.
believe oh, she's a student at some incredible university in Texas. And she was really looking for ways to take her love for animals, take her interest in, providing that compassionate care to both ends of the leash, and using it to engage her community. And the reason why that really stuck with me the most was because I have found that individuals who are studying to be veterinarians, who are still in school, they have this level of enthusiasm and passion that you just cannot manufacture, that you just don't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
And it's always really exciting to me. And I actually just sent Diana an email with more information. But
Oh, nice.
it's always really exciting to me to hear that individuals who are not even, I guess maybe they're not, I don't know what's the best way to say this? They're like fresh-eyed and haven't been like jaded by adulthood. They're so inspired and inspiring that it just gives me life, and it makes me feel really happy to have individuals like that in our corner. And it makes me feel like, you and I and our colleagues, we're all doing something right if one person being involved, like if that's not enough for them, like if they won't stop till they get all their classmates involved, if they won't stop till
Yeah.
they get other community members involved. So that made me really, really happy.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Diana. You're awesome. You're the best. And there were a few other individuals too. Um, gosh, I forgot her name. An incredible woman that cornered us both. It was an Austin resident, and she was either a veterinarian or a vet tech, and she was so excited to see us. And I think her
Oh.
words were like, I have a team of like 20 people that are ready to volunteer at your next Austin Street clinic. And she just, I don't think I've ever been approached with that much rigor and enthusiasm. It was awesome. I
Yeah.
immediately texted Hillary and was like, we got to get this crew on board. So that was really awesome too. Um,
Yeah.
so can you chat with me a little bit about some let's maybe you can so in we've had conversations with individuals at the conference about our mission specifically to provide free veterinary care to pets of people experiencing homelessness. When you were talking about our mission to some of the people that were stopping by our booth, like how did they respond to that mission? Did they feel that doing that work was important? Like, what was your experience of just describing what we do to veterinarians?
Yeah. I think everyone responded positively. Everyone was very interested in what we were doing and wanted to learn more. And I think the fact that, I mean, what we do is already unique. And I think the fact that we do that One Health approach where we try to also help people in both ends of the leash, not just the animals, is also something that draws people. And when you keep talking about them, you're like, oh, wow, I didn't know you did that. Like, that's really cool. So I think that that's what sets us apart. And I think people are inspired by that and, want to hear more and learn more and get involved at that point. So everybody I talked to was like, yeah, I want to hear more. I want to go to the website. I'm going to volunteer when I get home. So it was really, really good response.
Yeah, I got that same impression. And what never ceases to amaze me when I am describing our mission to veterinarians or to vet techs or to social workers is um, every so often someone will respond to the mission. And this is something I experienced this year and last year. And they start kind of tearing up and sharing with me a little bit about their lived experience with homelessness.
Yeah.
How, they have had to stand in line and wait for food stamps. They have experienced, a major surgery that left them without any money and without a roof over their head. And, sometimes there are individuals who, I think this was last year, someone mentioned to me that they were homeless um, for almost a year while paying their own way through veterinary school.
Wow.
Yeah, which gives me chills every time I think about it. So I'm always humbled by and just impressed by the resilience of these individuals. And it's always exciting to me to realize that the line between the clients we serve and the veterinarians who are serving those clients, um, that's a very soft line. That's a little dotted line. It's not very black and white. Some of our clients could be future veterinarians, just like some of our veterinarians have walked in the shoes of our clients. So that's always very touching to me. And I've found it inspiring when a veterinarian walks into our booth, hears about our mission, and just immediately starts getting choked up and thanking us and asking how they can get involved and being so kind as to share their lived experience with us. It's just
Yeah.
everything feels very real at that time.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a humbling experience.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
I think they were there the first day. It was like two people, I can't remember their names, but they came by our table 2 days in a row to talk to us. They were so cool. And the first day, I think they just learned about what we were doing. The second day, they just wanted to talk again. And then they mentioned to me that they're not from Austin. They were visiting from I don't remember where, but before they even heard about us, before they heard about the AVMA clinic we were hosting, they saw some folks with pets unhoused in Austin, and they stopped and they helped them and they like gave their services. And I was like, so I feel like a lot of people are just looking for that outlet. And the fact that
wow.
we can provide that and channel people, be like, okay, I know you have this is what you want to do. Maybe you don't know how to do it. Maybe you're unsure. This is how you can get involved. I think that that's so
Mm.
cool because it's like they have that innate want to help. They're already doing it. Most of them are already doing it. Either like helping clients who can't pay, giving discounts, this or that, or just going out and helping people who really need it. I think it's really cool that we're able to partner with these people to help to offer that service, you know?
That's such a great point. Oh, yeah. No, that's such a great point. You're so right. I think as a veterinarian, you're super compassionate and um you probably don't see that hard line between the clients that walk into your practice or your shelter every day and the clients who are unhoused and who would be walking into your practice if they had the financial resources. So yeah, that's such a great point. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
And I'm curious. So just in regards to walking past people and wanting to help, I think it was the first day or two there, yeah, but before our actual clinic, I have to say I was kind of taken aback by Austin's unhoused population. I I'm gonna, run the risk of sounding kind of ignorant here. I did not realize how great of a need there was for our services in Austin.
Hmm.
It's clearly every city has their unhoused population, and there are different reasons for these individuals for being unhoused. And it was heartbreaking to see just the number of individuals who are living on the street in Austin, especially with animals, especially in the heat,
Hmm.
especially because it's always tough seeing individuals who are unhoused living on the street, you know, in front of these like multi-million-dollar buildings and like clothing companies and like just other stuff. It was sad, and I was really glad that we were there to help in whatever way we could. And there were lots of opportunities that I saw to stop and chat with people who were unhoused, who were living on the street, and to tell them about our clinic that was coming up in a couple of days. And I must have stopped and chatted with like a dozen people. And I have to tell you, Sophia, every single person that I stopped and chatted with and told them about the clinic, I'm telling you, every single one said, I know. I already know about it. I already heard about it. And I know that's because you went above and beyond to connect with all different kinds of people and companies in Austin to make sure that they helped spread the word about the clinic. So this is a you question only, as I played no part in that. I'm wondering how you, as our community engagement coordinator, can you tell us a little bit about like what went into promoting this big clinic, and how did this clinic contribute to our overall mission?
Yeah, so I guess this is kind of what our team leads do whenever they start their teams. They identify different resources that folks might be using that could get help at our clinic. So I basically was just scouring the internet, finding different resources. And I actually found that there's a lot in Austin. And I feel like even near the convention center, a bunch of places that I had contacted, I'm like, oh, that place and that place and that place. So like I mean, it's good news that there's a lot of resources in Austin. I'm happy about that. There was a
And what
lot.
kind of what kind of resources do you mean?
Um, well, there was like churches that offer like food banks or clothing, so they have like special services for folks. There was nonprofits that provide services for folks. So there was a bunch of different ones. There was I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but there was one that was transitional housing that they made like tiny homes, like a tiny home village, and they had like 300
Oh,
homes or something. It was really cool, like learning about all these organizations. And so, reaching out to all those people is how we got the word out, basically. Having them share that information with their residents or the people they support. So that's, obviously that's what we do at Street Dog Coalition. We partner with people, we reach out, we try to, reach people the ways that they're but places they're already going, resources they're already accessing, so we can help get them more care in different ways.
that's awesome. And I think, what you kind of don't think about is it's one thing to get the word out to everyone, and it's another thing to get the word out to the right people in the right way, people who are actually in need of our services. And I know in the past we've made the mistake of just shouting from the rooftops that we're having a clinic, and sometimes we get people that are not unhoused or at risk of experiencing homelessness. So it was, I think, a true testament to how good you are at your job. That, yeah, yeah, absolutely. That all of these different organizations kind of came together to connect with the right people and, inform everyone who needed to be informed about this street clinic on Sunday.
Yeah.
So hats off to you. This is my imaginary small top hat.
Yeah, well, I mean, guess hats off to all our team leads who do that every day, you know. It seems
Yes.
like it's not that much work, but I feel like if they're doing it this often and they're, you know, connecting with all these different organizations and trying to balance all this, like, you know, hats off to all you team leads. Thank you for doing what you do.
Yes, you guys are awesome and we love you.
Yeah.
And so we have partnered every year, and this will be my last topic of discussion. We've partnered every year with AVMA, and by every year I mean at the very least the past few years.
Yeah.
We've partnered with AVMA, and AVMA is the organization that is producing this convention. So the two of us partner together to put on this street clinic every year. And I'm wondering, how do you believe, Sophia, um, how do you believe that eh, I'm trying to think of the most like diplomatic way to ask this question. Because you know me, I'm so diplomatic. How can we kind of strengthen our partnership with AVMA to continue making a difference in addressing the needs of unhoused individuals, and working with this organization to promote accessible veterinary care? What's your take on it?
Oh, that's like a big question. I think the first part would be just continuing this partnership because obviously it brings value in different ways. It brings value to our organization, to theirs, to the participants of the
Mm.
uh, convention, and obviously to our clients. So it's like a great way, I feel like, for people to go to the conference, get excited about things, listen to talks, but then be able to do something and channel that energy. Like, you know, you learn all this stuff at a conference, you talk to people, you get excited, and then you just go home. But here you can actually like channel that and be like, okay, now I'm
Yeah.
excited. I learned all this. I can use this. And then maybe take that home and spread the word and volunteer. So hopefully like help more people in the long run. So I think it's a great way to get more people involved and to help more people, you know.
I couldn't agree more. That's such an awesome point. And I also think that, and this is something I believe that we do. But for those of you who don't know, when individuals come to our clinic, it's not always the last time that we see them. So
Mhm.
oftentimes the individuals who come to our clinics, it might be the first time that they come to a clinic, but we make an effort to follow up with them. Sometimes they're getting, one of a series of vaccinations. Sometimes they're coming because their pet is experiencing a medical issue that requires a follow-up.
Mhm.
So I think that what we can do in coordination with AVMA and with our local team leads is to just make sure that the individuals we served in Austin this past week, they feel seen and felt and held
Yeah.
and taken care of just beyond that scorching clinic where a lot was going on. Um, I almost feel like that's just such an important aspect of what we do as an
Yeah.
organization is following up with these individuals and making sure that they know that we're here for them, and that we treat them the same way that we would treat anyone, regardless of whether or not that person is able to financially pay us for the services we provide. Dignity, respect,
Yeah.
all that good stuff. Are you
Yeah.
fully are you rested? Are you jet lagged? You gained 2 hours coming back, didn't you? Right? An hour?
I don't know. I'd have to like sit down and remember. I think so, something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. Something like that.
I feel
Yeah.
fine.
Clearly a nap is in my future too. Because right when I asked that question, I was like, what day is it? What time is it? Oh my gosh, I have no idea. Well, Sophia,
Yeah.
this has been awesome. This has actually been really, really fun. I'm really
Yeah.
glad that I'm really glad that we did this more casual than usual. And just when I thought this podcast couldn't get any more casual and laid back, here we are. Here we are, straight up chilling, talking about
Yeah.
whatever just happened this past weekend. It was such a whirlwind of giving back, of meeting new
Yeah.
people, of making new connections, of
Yeah.
seeing our staff in person, which was so cool. It was so
Yeah.
great to just give Katrina a hug. This is the highlight of my weekend, was just
Aw.
come here, come here.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah. So thank you, Sophia. If I don't let you
Yeah.
go now, we'll just keep talking to you about we haven't even talked about all the amazing food we ate. Okay, that's next. So much vegan food, so much vegan food. Sophia, thank you so much for taking this time to chat with me today and indulge with me in this request to
Yeah.
just come hang out and talk about the weekend. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed meeting you in person. It was very exciting for me.
Yeah.
Nice to be able to meet the person I've been emailing for the past year. That's always great.
Yeah.
And I really want to thank our listeners. I know that there are at least a handful of people who are tuning into this episode who I met in person at AVMA or who had a really fruitful conversation with Sophia in person. So big thanks to everyone who came out, who donated, who volunteered, who supported the Street Dog Coalition. And I want to also let everyone know that if you missed it, don't worry. There are so many different opportunities to donate and to volunteer with the Street Dog Coalition. And I encourage you to check out the link in the show notes of this episode. Shout us a holler. When you go to our website and you fill out the volunteer form, it will land delicately in the inbox of the fabulous Sophia right here. And Sophia will connect you with a team lead that is most close to where you currently live.
Mhm.
And the rest will be history. So if you missed out on the fun, please do not hesitate to click the link in our show notes and join us at another upcoming local clinic by you. Sophia, you're awesome. I cannot say enough great things about you. You were such a joy to spend time with. And I'm really looking forward to hearing how the next convention goes. I know you're going to Orlando is that August?
August. Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm asking you all these questions about dates and times without even know where I am right now. I'm
I
so
think it's
exhausted.
August. I think it's the end of August. Yeah.
Okay, we'll have to bring you back on the pod after that so you can share with us. And that's a furry convention. That's gonna be a hoot. We love the
Yeah, it's
fur.
gonna be fun.
Okay, we'll have to do like a mental cleansing, a saging of the experience after every conference. You'll have to come on the podcast and talk to us about your time. Well, thank you again, Sophia, and thank you to everyone who tuned in today. Until next time, adios, Sophia. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.